Hello YouTube and welcome to my tutorial. This is a tutorial about the MinimOSD, which is this one. There are several MinimOSD types from different vendors and manufacturers. This particular one is from Hobby King, and it has these pins on this side, 6 pins, which you connect to the flat controller, and on the other side it has also 6 pins in 2 separate rows. So the first one is for video input, so you connect the camera, and the second one is for video output. You connect it to the transmitter, or if you want to use it on for testing or try things out, you can connect it directly to a LCD. I have a mini DVD player, so I connect it directly to the DVD player, and then I see how it looks if I'd like to change the charsets and so on. So this is the MinimOSD. To be able to use this, you have to upload a firmware. You can do that by using a FTDI breakout board, which is this one here. I have purchased this from eBay, and it has 6 inputs, 6 pins, and they are labeled here, all of them. And actually you connect it to the MinimOSD this way, but you have to be careful about the VCC, so the 5 volts pin. You just count from this side, 1, 2, 3, third pin from this side, and then you find the VCC on the breakout board, which is here, and you just count from this side, third, so they match, and then you just connect it like this. And then using a mini USB cable, you just plug the mini USB cable into the breakout board, and then using a USB port on your PC, you connect it to the PC and then flash it. But before we do that, I would like to say something about the MinimOSD and the breakout board also. The first thing I'd like to say is that there are also this kind of breakout boards like this. This particular one has 5 pins, so it doesn't have the DTR pin like this one has. As you can see here, this one doesn't have it. So first, when I purchased this and then when I used it with my MinimOSD to flash the firmware, I had problems because it doesn't have the DTR pin. So I figured out, reading on internet of course, I figured out that to flash the MinimOSD with this breakout board, every time the process is start, if you start initiate a process, you have to click the reset button, and then it will go fine. But if you'd like if you don't like to do that all the time, you just go ahead and purchase this one. This one will do that for you. You don't have to press the reset button anytime you do something. You start flashing or finish flashing. You don't have to press the reset button. And another thing I'd like to say is that you feed this MinimOSD from both sides with electricity. So from this side with 5 volts, and from the other side with 12 volts. So I haven't flown with this MinimOSD on the field yet, so I've done testing, and I have changed charsets and uploaded them here, and I've done all of these using only this side of the USB, feeding only the MinimOSD with 5 volts. And you can do that by soldering these, by connecting these two. There are 2 tracks here. If you solder them, you connect them together, and then on the other side also, as you can see here, you can just drop a solder here and connect these 2 tracks together. And then what this does, it makes it possible to power the MinimOSD only from this side, only with 5 volts. And but maybe Maybe when I'm on the field, this might cause the MinimOSD to heat up, so I might unsolder it again and then feed the MinimOSD, sorry, from both sides, from here with 5 volts and from the other side with 12 volts. So I'm gonna see how it goes. Also, another thing I'd like to add about this MinimOSD is that when you purchase it and when you try to flash a firmware into this MinimOSD, you might have problems. You will say like bad EEPROM or errors like that. The problem is that there might be no bootloader here flashed, so you need to burn a bootloader. To do that, you're gonna need to solder 6 pins. So these 6 pins are not there by default. When you purchase the MinimOSD, these 6 pins are not there. So I have soldered them here. So you can do that too. Just purchase pins like this, 6 pins, and then you solder them here. And using a USBasp, you connect the MinimOSD to the PC, and then using Arduino IDE, you can you can burn the bootloader into the into the MinimOSD, and then flash it with a breakout board. So what we're gonna do is we are going to first burn a bootloader, and then flash the firmware with a breakout board. I would also like to say something about the USBasp. This USBasp, this particular one, is from Hobby King. Also, it is the one with 6 pins, and it is actually pretty good because once you solder the pins on the MinimOSD, they are very good. They match the pins from here, so the TX, RX and everything match to the pins here. So you just have to be careful. This plastic sorry, this plastic here has to be inside the inside the MinimOSD, and everything matches perfectly. And then you just go ahead and then plug the USB into a USB port on your PC and flash the bootloader, burn the bootloader. So let's go ahead now and first download the software that we need, and then we'll connect everything together and go ahead and flash. So to be able to flash the firmware into MinimOSD, you're gonna need to have the firmware files and the software which we'll use then to upload the firmware into MinimOSD. You can download them by Googling. Just open Google and type in MinimOSD. Actually, there are 2 projects. The first one is just MinimOSD, and the second one is MinimOSD Extra. I'm gonna download the MinimOSD Extra, and this tutorial is about the MinimOSD Extra. So just type in MinimOSD Extra, and there we have it. And then the first link is MinimOSD Extra. And go ahead and click downloads. And this is the configuration tool which we'll need to configure the MinimOSD, and then we need also the firmware. We are going to download this one so this one, which is 2.4 release 719, the hex file. So first let's go ahead and download the configuration tool, and then so it's downloading. And then let's go back and download the hex file, this one, and download. So already downloaded, so let's go and find the file we have downloaded. It's this one here. And then again the configuration tool. Go ahead and open it. And so this is the file we're going to need to upload to the MinimOSD. This is the configuration tool folder that we're going to need. Now also need the IDM, Arduino IDM, to burn the bootloader. You just Google and type in Arduino IDE. Okay, just wait a second. Arduino IDE. Okay, that was Arduino IDE, and go ahead and click download. And then if you're using Windows, go ahead and click Arduino Windows installer. If you're using Mac or Linux, you can choose the OS you're using. I'm using Windows, so you just go ahead and click Windows installer, and it will start downloading. I have already downloaded it, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel. And now the first thing you will also need a file which is EEPROM Clear file. I will upload this. I will put the link down below the video, so you can download this file. What this does is clears the EEPROM, and then we burn the bootloader. So the first thing we gonna go ahead and do is to connect the MinimOSD through the USBasp, and then clear the EEPROM, and then burn the bootloader using the Arduino, and then we will flash the firmware using the configuration tool and the breakout board. And we will also upload charsets. I will show you how to upload a charset, and also how to modify a charset, so make it look the way you like it. So now let's go ahead and connect everything together. So first you're gonna need to connect the MinimOSD to the USBasp. As I said before, you just go ahead and if you have the Hobby King USBasp, then it's pretty easy. You just go ahead and plug it in like this, so this plastic part goes inside. If you don't have this particular one, you have to see to match the outputs from the USBasp to the inputs of the MinimOSD. So you have to see what pins from here goes where. So you have to match the pins. So now let's go ahead and connect the USBasp to a USB port. As you can see, it is installing the board, the drivers needed. So now we go ahead and open the Arduino IDE software, and the first thing we will do is to configure the board and the port we're going to use. So in this case we are using the USBasp as a programmer, and we have to define the board that we're using. In this case is Arduino Pro Mini. So the first thing we need to do is go to Tools, and then select the board, which is Arduino Pro or Pro Mini, 5 volts, 16 megahertz with Atmega 328. You have to be careful, you have to choose this one. And then we will go to Programmer and choose USBasp as a programmer. Now the first thing we need to do is to open this code here, which will clear the EEPROM from our MinimOSD. Let's go ahead and click File, Open, and then EEPROM Clear, Desktop. Here I have it. Sorry, EEPROM Clear, and then Open. Sorry. If you see this, you need to create a folder and put the EEPROM file, this file, into that folder, and then execute the program. So cancel. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this, create a folder named this way, paste, Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put this file inside that folder, and now I'm gonna go and open. So EEPROM Clear, open. As you can see now it opens the file, and let's go ahead and click upload using programmer, and it will start compiling the code, and then it will upload the code. So we'll wait a few seconds. Once it does this, sorry, we will go ahead and burn the bootloader, and after doing that we're going to connect the disconnect the MinimOSD from the USBasp and connect it to the breakout board, FTDI breakout board, and then upload the firmware and also upload charsets. So now it's uploading, done uploading. So we'll go ahead and close this. Now you have to go to tools and burn bootloader. It will start burning the bootloader. This may take a minute, so it takes a little while. And I will also show you, meanwhile I would like to show you that I'm going to demonstrate how to create a charset from an existing one. Is easy, of course, easier than creating a charset from zero. So it means modifying a charset, an actual the standard charset. And done burning bootloader. It has already burned the bootloader. So now let's go ahead and disconnect the USBasp. And what we do now is connect it to the breakout board. As I said, you have to be careful about the VCC. In my case it's the third one from here, and here also the third one. And then using the mini USB cable to USB cable, we connect it to our PC. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect it here. So it's not connected. And installing the drivers. So now we'll go ahead and open the configuration tool. Let's wait for the drivers to finish installing. Before we move on, I would like to show you how to find which port is using. In this case you see this comport 13, but you can find that out going here, device manager, and so USB serial port is using comport 13. So our MinimOSD is connected to comport 13. You need this because we will have to choose the right comport when we open the configuration tool. Let's go ahead and open the configuration tool. And so there it is. And in this configuration tool we have a lot of options. We have to choose the values and so on. But the first thing you're going to need to do is to choose the right comport here. Ours was comport 13, so we go ahead and choose that comport and then click read from OSD. Okay, and okay, EEPROM mapping updated. Now it's okay. And here we can see the panels. We have 3 panels, three different views we can choose. First panel is this one, second one, and the third one is just the video without any data on the screen. So the first thing we're gonna need to do now is to go ahead and upload the firmware. we do that by going to options and update firmware. Okay, and let's go to desktop. We have already downloaded the firmware, which is this one here. Click open. It is uploading now, and then we will go ahead and take a look into this values here. And okay, done. So done downloading data. Something is I would like to say something about this button here. You have to use it a lot. Save current tab too. So any change you make, you have to click this button, save current tab to MinimOSD. So done writing configuration data, and then there it is. So the video mode depends what system you use. I use PAL. You can use NTSC. You just click here, so you choose between PAL and NTSC. And you can also upload charsets, update charsets, which you can download from internet and update the existing ones. So RSSI minimal and maximal values, I'm gonna talk about this later. And the level which you will be warned at, warnings auto panel switch, I turned this off. And then the OSD toggles channel is channel 8. This is the channel you switch between screens using using a switch on your radio. I use the trainer switch to switch between screens. This one between this one, and the third one which is without data. And stall speed, overspeed, call sign, you can write down a call sign. I'm gonna leave it this way, I'm not gonna do that. As the units you're using, I'm using metric, and the minimum battery voltage, maximum, and so on. So let's go ahead now and click the first panel. Here you can choose what would you like to have on your screen. And like, let's say I don't want to have the call sign here. You just go ahead and find call sign, and then click the checkbox, untick it, and then you won't have that information. So in this way you choose whatever you like or you wouldn't like to have on your screen, temperature, and so on. So just go ahead and click or whatever you don't like to have. And you can also arrange things by clicking and dragging the things over the screen, and you can arrange things like the way you want to have them. And let's see, like this. No, okay, let's go ahead and do some arrangements here. Whatever, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it this way. So it depends on you, the way you want to have the screen. Usually the first panel I use all the information needed, and then the second panel I just put minimal information, like the the battery, and then the speed, the altitude, and the flight time maybe. And the third screen, I don't have any information at all. So the first screen is going to have all the information. The second one is going to have the minimal information, so you can enjoy more view. And the third one, which is not here, but once you switch with a trainer switch on your radio, you will have also a third screen, which is a blank one without data at all. So you will have only the view to enjoy the view. So once you're satisfied with your configuration, you go ahead and click Save Current Tab too, and it will save the data into your MinimOSD. And then for the second panel too. okay, and the config panel also. And this is about the uploading the firmware. Now we will go ahead and update a charset. First, if we would like to see the changes on our panels, how the charsets will look like, we have to put those charsets, which are this here. This is a this is the charset that it holds these letters, types of the letters inside, and then it displays them here. So we need to modify this charset here to make the letters and numbers appear different here on the screen. So I have already some charsets modified. I'm just gonna go ahead and use one of them, like let's say this one, digital numbers. Sorry, digital with dots. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. Sorry, I don't want to move it. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy it, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this file into the configuration tool folder. So there we have it. And it is important that we name this charset like this one, so it has to be named this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this, first copy and put a backup, B for backup, and then I'm gonna go ahead and change this one. Just click paste, so this name must be here. And now if I open the configuration tool, you'll see that the charset is different, the display is different, as you can see. Now we have this kind of digital letters and the numbers that I've modified to. And so now to upload this charset to our MinimOSD, we go ahead and click Options, Update Charset, and then we find the charset we'd like to update. So it is this one. This one has a B, as you've seen. I have changed that. This is the standard, the default one, and this is the modified one. So let's go ahead and click Open, and it will start uploading the charsets. And then after doing that, if we connect the MinimOSD to a video, to a screen or goggles or whatever, then we will have these kind of letters and numbers shown on our screen. So it is uploading. If we would have used this breakout board, then after the process finishes, we had to click the reset button. But this breakout board does it by itself, so we don't have to press any button anymore. So after uploading charset, it says charset done. You have to save the current tab to, and then also panel 2. Okay. Another thing I'd like to say about this configuration tool is that you can, after you configure the screen the way you want to have it, you go ahead, you can save those tabs. So later, if you'd like to, if you have made any mistakes, or if you have to do everything from the beginning, you don't need to arrange things again. You just go ahead and save the OSD file somewhere on let's say on the desktop. Sorry, screen. I'm gonna name it screen, and there we have it. And after you have flashed that from the beginning, you just go ahead and click Open OSD file choose the file and click open, and it will rearrange things the way you have saved them, like let's say like this here. And this was about the MinimOSD and uploading firmware, burning the bootloader, uploading the firmware. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can update the charset and change the letters or numbers the way you want to have them on your screen. To do that, you're going to need a program which is called Max7456 Char Wizard, and I will put a link below the video so you can download that program. But before I open the program, let's go ahead and open this configuration tool folder, and inside this folder, this is the file that holds the letter and number types written here, and it has to be named like this for the characters to be shown on the screen. So if we open the OSD configuration tool, and we will see let's go to panel 1, and these characters, so these letters and numbers and symbols are saved here in this file. So we're gonna need to modify this file to be able to modify the letters and numbers that are shown on the screen. Sorry, so let's go ahead and open the Max7456 program, and we will go, I'm going to close this, we'll go ahead and open this file, which is here, MCM, this file, and as you can see, there are the letters and numbers that we see on the screen. So to change these, it's not easy, so you're gonna have to modify each one of them one by one. And just to show you the difference, I'm gonna go and open one of the already modified charsets that I've done. So I have modified these, so I'm gonna go and open one of them so you can see how it looks like. Let's go ahead and click open on desktop, MinimOSD, and let's open like OSD digital numbers with dots. So as you can see, let's take for example letter A here and letter A here. So I've modified this A into this one, so it looks like digital A. So you can do that to make it look different. And I'm gonna go ahead and modify a letter here, let's say this letter A, so you can see how it's done and how you do it and how it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this letter look smaller. I would also like to tell you something about the colors. This color, the gray one, is transparent, so you don't see this on the screen. Only this black and white colors appear, which define the letter, and the rest, what is in gray, will be transparent. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this letter A smaller, like this, for example, or even smaller. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use the gray like this. Okay, here and here. So now we have this letter A, which is smaller, and what you have to do is click save character, and then there you have it. So there's letter B, there's letter A, and once you write down that, click save here. So when we go ahead now and open the OSD configuration tool, we will see that the letter A has changed. is different. Okay, now here we have manual, the letter A smaller, and here also. So you have to change all the letters and numbers separately to be able to see them on the screen. So there are some charsets that are already modified by me or other people on internet. You can find them on internet. I will put a link below the video for a thread on RC groups where you can download already modified charsets. You just pick or choose the one you like, and then upload it, update it to your MinimOSD. So that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you on my next tutorial.